Thamaturgy. Why does evolution occur? It occurs because of adversity that challenges the life form. Adversity and resistance cause life forms to adapt to conditions of nature in order to survive and learn and teach as much as possible. As the intelligent life forms grow and change more and more, do selection pressures occur on the mental plane, as survival in this age becomes more and more mental than physical. And some elemental traits that are now manifest in human abilities are occurring because transmutations occur primarily on the mental plane. On the mental plane, there is little that cannot be made, so long as one maintains their concentration. It is possible, and perhaps likely, that this has appeared before. So why are so many right now exhibiting such profound traits? Well, this is likely because the entire world has been long engaged in mental warfare. Forces like propaganda, misdirection, deception, and manipulation are all severely harmful on society and individual mental health, as is well known. Psychological abuse has a tendency to perpetuate more psychological abuse, as if politics and parties were bad enough toward the constant degradation of sanity and its consistency as well. Peace and stability. There is also the accursed act of scapegoating. Scapegoating is probably the ultimate form of psychological abuse, as it is relentless in its intentional injustice and sacrifice. When a group of persons mutually and intentionally engage in criminal behavior, they will, from word one, intend the scapegoat, sometimes even from birth, to take all the blame when and if the time comes. They will intentionally gaslight and abuse this person and do so consistently, rejecting them from all inclusion, tearing down their efforts and dreams. Even if they do still thrive in life, they will never be allowed to enjoy the fruits of their labor, as the psychologically abusive criminals have to reconcile their fears by making sure their intended sacrifice never gets a foothold in society or rises above their station, as without someone to blame, they are terrified of being discovered in their illicit activities and behavior. And they will relentlessly spy on, stalk, and treat their sacrifice far beyond unfairly. And all the while the victim of all these unprovoked attacks does not know why they are treated so much different than everyone else. Most never will, unless they are fortunate and have someone explain it to them. Worse still, in the never-ending onslaught of psychological abuse perpetuated with great constancy upon the victim, they may start to really struggle. They may be so distraught that they can scarcely go on. And when they are abused again, they may articulate well the reasons that give sensible and understandable explanation for the current circumstance. However, to the psychological abusers, this sounds like a direct threat to them, as they cannot self-assess or self-improve. So they misinterpret the scapegoat's attempt at communication as a threat, even though in truth they are just attempting to foster communication, mutual understanding, respect, and facilitate healing. I want to say that again. A psychological abuser interprets their victims trying to better themselves as a threat. It is at this point that they will usually engage the lash against the victim, applying the usual admonitions of pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and that one should take responsibility for one's actions and not blame others for your problems. Except, the problem with all that is it's a bunch of putrid, fetid nonsense. If you are being constantly gaslit, lied to, spied on, interrupted, accused, blamed, gate-kept, manipulated, and tortured, then it is not your responsibility or your actions. Furthermore, you are not blaming others for your problems by correctly identifying the source of them. Lastly, and most importantly, someone who has been under a sustained onslaught of psychological abuse cannot pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They have become so damaged they can scarcely function. In the mind of the abuser, statements like this are intended to demoralize the victim further, trying to cause them to just give up and die. die. Because the sooner their victim dies, the sooner their little group can go about their ugly little lives without fear of being detected in their criminal activities. I bet you're wondering what all this has to do with thaumaturgy, or elemental manifestation in the human form. Well, it is adversity and struggle that causes the onset of phenomenological and evolutionary transformation. It does seem that many abused children grow up to be adults with anomalous abilities. And those who are abused the most become even superhero-like. And it's almost as though nature has had the last laugh against all those who externalize guilt as psychologically abused children and adults.